Senate Bill 420, a bill proposed by Oregon Democrat Ron Wyden in the United States Senate, aims to legalize, regulate, and tax cannabis on a federal level. It establishes a sliding scale tax over 5 years that starts at 10% for the first 2 years and ramps up 5% each subsequent year to a final tax rate of 25% by year 5. While it's great that our federal legislature is making an effort to regulate it on the federal level, personally, I have a problem with overbearing regulation. While I don't have a problem with the principle of establishing federal taxes and regulatory structures to be adhered to in addition to state and local guidelines, because importation and interstate commerce is the inevitable conclusion of this policy, and this is rightfully to be regulated on the federal level, there is such a thing as too much taxes. I fear that if this would pass, as nice as it would be to legalize cannabis federally, looking at how the tax structures exist in other states, marking up the product an additional 25%, I think, could stifle the market and ultimately increase the burden of the consumer to levels that would ultimately hurt the industry's development in the long term. I mean, look at Colorado, where you have 15% marijuana sales tax plus 2.9% regular sales tax and a 15% excise tax plus the 25%. In California, 15% sales tax plus a $9.75 per ounce tax on flowers and a $2.75 per ounce tax on leaves as a harvest tax plus the 25%. In Washington, 37% sales tax plus the 25%. In Oregon, 17% sales tax plus 25%. Nevada, 15% excise tax, plus 25%. See where I'm going with this? The state wants their cut too, and their cut is rarely small, as the policy currently exists across the country. And I fear that such a high tax burden would provide further incentive to the black market propagation of the cannabis industry, which, if I'm not mistaken, is exactly what this bill is trying to combat. So to be totally honest with you, I'm not optimistic about this bill. I think as far as the industry is concerned, the promise of tax revenue and public good provided by legal cannabis only goes so far as the business's ability to survive the taxation we levy on it, and in turn, whether the consumers are willing to have that burden passed on to them. If you tax too high, people will turn to the black market because it's just way cheaper, and then there goes the tax revenue and public good. We would be better off not taxing it to oblivion on all levels of governance and maybe keeping these tax rates slightly lower if it means that businesses are more likely to thrive and proliferate and consumers are more likely to buy the product at the rate at which they're selling it. I mean, in legal states, we're already seeing market prices drop, margins squeezing, and they already have high tax rates and compliance fees. And if you add more federal taxes onto that, marking up the price by another quarter, that just shrinks the margins even more because forcing the customers to pay crazy amounts in tax is going to turn people away. So the businesses will have to make the decision to either take that risk or just eat some of that loss and push more volume instead to make up the shortfall. I mean, when you think about just how much it would have to be marked up, it's easy to see how it will squeeze small businesses even more than they are already and piss off consumers. I mean, you have local taxes, state taxes, licensing fees, the real estate's already more expensive, your electricity fees, your water, state marijuana taxes, and now a 25% federal tax. I think there has to be a better way. I don't know that I'm in favor of an extra 25% on taxes. And I'm all for regulation and taxation. But there comes a point where enough is enough. And this is just my opinion, but 25% in federal taxes, plus what already exists within states, plus compliance fees and the burden that's already leveled on businesses that want to maintain their legal status, I think this could just do more harm than good. Anyways, that's about all I have for you guys today. Short, sweet, to the point. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Stay meducated.